got to tell you, that's probably one of my favorite all-time songs. Not just because you're here, but I love that record. It always gets me pumped up, I'm telling you. Ladies and gentlemen, Soave in the house.
What's up, Tim?
Look at that. You're a Soave-looking guy, too. You're a good-looking guy.
Thank you, my brother.
So try to get everybody to focus on me more. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you for taking time to be on the show. And we've known each other for a long time, and we've never really had a chance to sit down and really chat about, the career and what's going on and what's happening. And I got a chance to talk to Owen Soba today, and he kind of filled me in with the beginning. And I'm just I'm gonna paraphrase, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. But he was holding auditions, and you walked in. You were like the second guy who walked in, and he goes, "You got the job." And there were some other people that passed on the job, but you grabbed it. You're still doing it.
I'm not sure exactly how that went down exactly. I know he was auditioning. He had at the time, I know he had pretty much signed a deal with Micmac for a project he was working on, and he pretty much allocated a song for that project already that he'd written with a young lady named Valerie Puig, and I think she was his ex-girlfriend. She wrote him a poem or something like that in math class because he broke up with her, and it was crazy. But Crying Over You was kind of established. They had the first verse and the second verse and the chorus, and I just kind of got in there and did a little work on it. I did the talking part and the third verse, and some ad libs that are memorable to the song and to the sound of that particular track. And then I wrote the next couple songs, and we did some really good stuff together, Owen and I, and been doing it since 19 years old, man. Never stopped.
That's crazy. Go ahead. I'm sorry. And you're still out every weekend doing it too, right? Is it pretty much you have a full schedule?
Yeah, all the time. I'm very blessed. I'm good for 30, 40 shows a year. So
that's amazing. Not too shabby.
Yeah, man.
That's great.
Not at all. Pretty happy about it.
You're blessed, man. That's really cool. Like, when you were in the studio, I just want to ask you this, and I didn't hear any stories. I just want to know, when I was in the studio with Eric G, we did a few things, and there was a spoken part for Eric to do, and we couldn't stop laughing the whole time. He was trying to be serious. Was that easy for you to do, or were people ripping you, or were they laughing at you while you were recording I give you all my love? Was that? No. I mean, was that just something that came natural? I mean, and believe me, I'm not. It's iconic. But I was just curious. And when you recorded that, were you laughing when you were doing it?
That's the part that I wrote. That part I wrote. That whole beginning part. It was like if you think about freestyle, somehow there was always a spot where somebody spoke. And I remember we turned the lights down in the studio, and I always like the room that I'm in to be dark, because I like to be kind of in a solitude, in a place that's really my own, without having to be interrupted. And obviously, when you have your headphones on, and I think I put some candlelight on and got it,
All right.
Food. Yeah.
Well,
and you close your eyes and you go, "I gave you all my love, girl."
Since the name Soave.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
They don't call you Soave for nothing, I guess, right?
I will tell you this though, when I do perform that song, every time I get to perform it, I really do close my eyes and I really try to get in the moment, because not for nothing, but it's a blessing to be able to have people come up to you and tell you how much that song or your songs have meant to them and have moved them and have helped them get through different moments of their lives. So, I don't take that for granted. And every time I get the opportunity to sing, I pretend it's literally like the last time I get to do it again. So I try to make it the best I can every time.
All right, cool. Yeah, I didn't mean to take anything away from it. I was just curious to see, just recapture the magic to find out if that's what really was happening. I know sometimes you got a stage or you chuckle through it a couple times, but yeah, that sounds really cool. I mean, you're totally into it. I'm looking at your picture right now. What is the record right over your shoulder there? Is that Crying Over You? That's hanging on your wall there?
Over my shoulder is Don't Look Back, believe it or not.
Don't Look Back. And that's crazy. You had to look back. Don't look back to see what I'm talking about. And that was okay.
I'll tell you a secret about that song. It was the last song that I did on Micmac, and that was the only song of the 3 songs that I did with them that I had nothing to do with in terms of writing. As a matter of fact, I didn't like the song. I didn't like doing the song. I didn't want to do the song, but it was like I felt like I had no choice but to do the song. And it turned out that it was such a big song in a lot of different places. Chicago, I remember going to do a show in Chicago, and I had been performing, for years. And when I do my shows, I didn't really do Don't Look Back in a lot of my shows. And I remember going to Chicago, and I didn't do Don't Look Back, and the crowd started getting crazy. And I think, I don't know if you remember, but you were there, and you said, Jeff, you have to go back out there. You can't get off stage without singing that song. There's gonna be a riot in here if you don't go back up.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I was on the radio then, and I played the bejesus out of it. I mean, it was like ridiculous, and we made it an anthem here in Chicago, and it is one of my favorite songs. I remember the first time, one of the first times I played in New York too. I don't think I ever met Owen Soba before, but he came up to me and he goes, because I played the song at the club, and he goes, man, it sounded really good. I got to tell you, I've never heard it played in the club before. And I was like, what? This we play it all the time. It's such a, it's so crazy that, this is before the internet, of course. It's so crazy that how different, pockets of music are. It's got to be crazy for you too when you're out even singing any of the songs and you see people singing back to you the words that you wrote down from nothing, from your brain.
That is such a blessing. It's amazing. And I can't begin to tell you. I mean, Tim, you and I have been friends for many years, so you remember my first time in Chicago. I mean, I think I was probably 19, 20 years old.
Was that Excalibur? Is that where you came? At Excalibur? Is that what it was, or before that?
The first time I went there in Chicago, I was probably 20, 21 years old, and I did some show in a place under an L. And afterwards, you took me to some taco place or some.
That doesn't sound like me at all. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I believe that. That's awesome. And we didn't get shot. We didn't get stabbed. And see, Chicago's a nice place to visit. Like I said.
I love Chicago now.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I can't thank you enough for spending just a few of your. You even got dressed for us too. Spending time for us and hanging out and just chatting with us for a little bit. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Soave. Everybody, yeah. The crowd goes crazy. It's not a good crazy. It's a bad, pitchforks and torches crazy. So, no, I'm kidding. Thank you so much for spending time. Again, and you know what? My wife always says, whenever I mention you, she goes, she always smells so good. And he told me the secret because I called him. I go, hey, man, what's the cologne that you wear? And he told me, go ahead.
Jeffrey Juice.
It's Jeffrey Juice, a combination of the something that you whip up and nobody ever is going to smell just like Soave. So,
right.
So now my wife, if you see my wife and if you're in Chicago, my wife comes over and she's just like leaning up against you and got her nose, on you. That's just what she does. Don't worry. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you, Soave. Thank you so much for taking time. I'm going to play this for you now, all right? Thank you.
I gave you all my love, girl. But you just threw it all away.